Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So we are going to be continuing with the read aloud of Life and Death, Twilight Reimagined by Stephenie Meyer, and instead of chapter 23 being called The Angel, it's called The Choice. Now before we begin the reading, I just have to make the quick disclaimer that I do not own any of the text being presented here, nor am I trying to present any of the text as my own. This is all simply a read aloud that I'm doing on the channel for entertainment purposes, and it's all in fair use. And once again, Life and Death is owned by Stephenie Meyer, and this is chapter 23, The Choice. Another scream on top of mine, a shriek like a chainsaw cutting through rebar. The hunter lunged, but her teeth snapped close an inch from my face as something yanked her back, flung her out of my sight. The fire pooled in the crease of my elbow, and I screamed. I wasn't alone. There were others screaming. The metallic snarl was joined by a high keening that bounced off the walls and then cut off suddenly. A thrumming growl was grinding underneath the other sounds. More metal tearing, shredding. No! Someone howled in agony to match mine. No, no, no! This voice meant something to me, even through the burning. That was so much more than that. Though the flames had reached my shoulder, this voice was still claimed my attention. Even screaming, she sounded like an angel. Bo, please! Edith sobbed. Please, 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 Bo, please. I tried to answer, but my mouth was disconnected from the rest of me. My screams were gone, but only because there was no more air. Corinne! Edith shrieked, help me! Bo, please, please, Bo, please! She was cradling my head in her lap, and her fingers were pressing hard against my scalp. Her face was unfocused, just like the hunter's. I was falling down a tunnel in my head. The fire was coming with me, though, just as sharp as before. Something cool blew into my mouth, filling my lungs. My lungs pushed back. Another cool breath. Edith came into focus. Her perfect face twisted and tortured. Keep breathing, Poe. Breathe. She put her lips against mine and filled my lungs again. There was gold around the edges of my vision. Another set of cold hands. Archie, make splints for his leg and arm. Edith, straighten out his airways. Which is the worst bleed? Here, Corinne. I stared at her face while the pressure against my head eased. My screams were just a broken whimper now. The pain wasn't any less. It was worse. But the screaming didn't help me, and it did hurt Edith. As long as I kept my eyes on her face, I could remember something beyond the burning. My bug, please. Hold your breath, Archie. It will help. Thank you. Eleanor, now leave. Please. He's lost blood, but the wounds aren't too deep. I think his ribs are the biggest problem now. Find me tape. Something for the pain, Edith hissed. There, I don't have hands. Will you? This will make it better, Edith promised. Someone was straining my leg. Edith was holding her breath, waiting, I think, for me to react, but it didn't hurt like my arm. Edith, shh, Bo, it's going to be okay. I swear it's going to be fine. No, it's not. Something was digging into my scalp, and something else was yanking tight against my broken arm. This tweaked my ribs, and I lost my breath. Hold on, Bo! Edith, please, just hold on. I labored to pull in another breath. Ribs, I choked. And, can you understand him? Corinne's voice was right next to my head. Just rest, Bo. Breathe. No, hand. I gasped out. Edith, right hand. I couldn't feel her cold hands on my skin. The fire was too hot, but I heard her gasp. No! Edith? Corinne asked, startled. She bit him! Corinne's voice had no volume, like she'd run out of air too. Corinne caught her breath in horror. What do I do, Corinne? Edith demanded. No one answered her. The tugging continued on my scalp, but it didn't hurt. Yes, Edith said through her teeth. I can try. Archie. Scalpel. There's a good chance you'll kill him first, Archie said. Give it to me, she snapped. I can do this. I didn't see what she did with the scalpel. I couldn't feel anything else in my body anymore, nothing but the fire in my arm. But I watched her raise my hand to her mouth like the hunter had. Fresh blood was welling from the wound. She put her lips over it. I screamed again. I couldn't help it. It was like she was pulling back the fire back down my arm. Edith, Archie said. She didn't react. Her lips still pressed into my hand. The fire roared up and down my arms, sawing back and forth. Moans escaped through my clenched teeth. Edith! Archie shouted. Look! What is it, Archie? Corinne asked. Archie's hand shot out and slapped Edith's cheek. Stop it, Edith! Stop it now! My hand dropped away from her face. She looked at Archie with her eyes so wide they seemed like half her face. She gasped. Archie! Corinne barked. It's too late. Archie said, we got here too late. You can see it? Corinne asked in a more subdued voice. There are only two futures left, Corinne. He survives as one of us or Edith kills him trying to stop it from happening. No! Edith moaned. Corinne was quiet. The tugging against my scalp slowed. Edith dropped her face to mine. She kissed my eyelids, my cheeks, my lips. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It doesn't need to be this slow, Archie complained. Corinne, I made an oath, Archie. I didn't, he snarled. Wait! Edith said, her head snapping up. He deserves a choice. Her lips were at my ear. I clamped my teeth against the moaning, straining to listen. Poe, I won't make this decision for you. I won't take this away from you, and I'll understand, I promise, Bo. If you don't want to live like this, I won't fight you. I'll respect what you want. I know it's a horrible choice. I would give you any other option if I could. I would die if I could give your life back to you. Her voice broke. But I can't make that trade. I can't do anything except stop the pain. If that's what you want, you don't have to be this. I can let you go if that's what you need. It sounded like she was sobbing again. Tell me what you want, Bo. Anything. You. I spit through my teeth. Just you. Are you sure? She whispered. I groaned. The fire was reaching its fingers into my chest. Yes, I coughed out. Just let me stay with you. Out of my way, Edith, Archie growled. His voice lashed back like a whip. I didn't make any oaths either. His face was at my throat, and I couldn't feel anything besides the fire. But I could hear the quiet sound of her teeth cutting through my skin. Her voice lashed like a whip. I didn't make any oaths either. Her face was at my throat, and I couldn't feel anything besides the fire. But I could hear the quiet sound of her teeth cutting through my skin. Oh my god! Oh Lord! Oh man. So that was like the what if Edward was too late to stop the venom from spreading. Because at the rate that it was like spreading through Beau's body, there was no way Edith would have been able to suck it out completely. Clearly. Because, Joss, she bit into Beau, like, way sooner than Edith could, before Edith could even get there in time. So, overall, like, that was the change. But, oh man, that was, like, so much worse than I thought it was. Like, I thought for sure that it would be injuries so severe that Beau would actually die from the injuries before Joss could, like, even bite into him, and Edith would have to make the choice to change him. But no, like, he was, like, coughing on, like, vomit and blood in his lungs, and, like, she was trying to perform CPR to save him, and, like, oh my god, it was so, like, much more painful reading that than how it was for me reading The Angel in Twilight. Like, this chapter was just as short as The Angel, maybe even shorter than The Angel, but it was so much more painful and so much more disturbing for me to have to sit through and read, because let's be honest, like, there was just something about that was so painful, especially since Edith is the one like crying over Beau's body, and then she makes the decision. She's like, Beau, I won't like make any decisions for you, but if this is what you want, you have to tell me. And then she like proceeds to bite into his neck, and I'm just like, oh, Edith. Like, I literally feel like so horrible. Like, oh man, Edith, like, I'm feeling how tortured she is over that. Like, she is just like Edward, where if anything were to ever happen to Beau, it's like the one thing that she would kill herself over, and vice versa with Edward and Bella. It's the exact same way with Edith, and this chapter really, really shows that. And this chapter was so damn short and changed chapter 24. I mean, who knows how long this one is? Who knows? Let me see how long this is before I go thinking about trying to combine the two. actually changes a little bit longer than this. So I'm just going to cap off the reading here and then continue chapter 24 and let that be like its own chapter reading, and I'm going to do that next. So if you guys enjoyed the reading, you can subscribe to the channel if you happen to be new, leave a like on the video, comment down below as well, letting me know what you guys thought of this change to the ending, because obviously this ending is so different from the way how Bella's story ended, and obviously the biggest change is Beau is a vampire by the end of the story. So God bless, happy viewing, and have a nice day, everyone. See ya.